Good afternoon to everybody. Want to thank Warren and Sadi Cohen for sponsoring the YouTube Dvar Torah this week. It's Ilu Nishmat, Warren's father, Gabi Ben Dov HaKohen, and we hope that, pray that in the schut, amongst other things, of the Divrei Torah, that he should have an Aliyah Began Eden. I also wanted to use this opportunity to wish Warren a refuah shlema, as we say, not only like a refuah of 80%, 70%, but a refuah shlema, that he should go from strength to strength. I want to deviate a little bit from the sort of the series. The series is about Gedolim Yisrael and their connection, or something that they quoted legabei the Parsha Shavua, because during that week it's their yortzeit. So this week I've chosen to speak about Rav Yisrael Rozen, who was a great Talmid Chacham, but without being disparaging in any way, God forbid, that he wasn't like with the other Talmidei Chachamim who had their yortzeit this week. Namely the Chazon Ish, Rav Shach, Rav Nachum Pachovich, who was the legendary Magid Shiur and great Talmid Chacham Rosh Hashiva Mir. So he's not in that sort of like that level, but he made a great impact on Am Yisrael, Rav Rozen, and he was the founder of Tzomet. We all know that Tzomet is the famous foundation, the institution which brings halachic solutions to technological solutions to the bayot that there are in Eretz Yisrael. So, but anyway, what I wanted to speak about him rather than other Gedolei Yisrael, and at another time I'll speak about about them. So Rav Rozen was born in 1941 in Tel Aviv. He attended the Yeshuv, and then he went to Yeshivat Kerem B'Yavne. First, only basically has the yeshiva in his time. And then what he did was he became an electronic engineer, learning in Machon Lev and also in Bar Ilan. And in 1976, he founded the Tzomet Institute. The Tzomet Institute, which we all know about in Gush Etzion. And he, the whole point was to bring about technological solutions to problems that there are in Medinat Yisrael. So all the inyanim of the Shabbat lifts and the carts, which are all work on grammar that you can use on Shabbat. For example, the Tatzpitaniyot, those who like man, the cameras in Tzahal. So they have to like write down certain things also in hospitals, and they've got special like Shabbat pens developed by Tzomet, in which the writing holds the ink can like hold for a couple of hours, and then afterwards it fades. So it's not considered to be writing, because writing has to be something like I write on the sand on Shabbat. It's not considered to be writing because it's not something which is like in any way permanent. And then after, so it holds for a certain amount of time, and then afterwards you can, when Shabbat comes out, you write it out in a proper pen, and then it fades. So all these hundreds of technological solutions, he founded them, and he and his institution, and all the Shabbos urns, etc. It's the platot that we've got. We all know that they come from Tzomet. So he was an amazing person. He was fond always of quoting the first chief rabbi of Israel, Rav Herzog of Medinat Yisrael, that is to say, Rav Herzog, Yitzhak Herzog, used to say that the halacha is in need of Medinat Yisrael. That was like a sharp rebuttal to people who actually asked the opposite way around. Could it be, is the halacha able to contend with the problems that there are in Medinat Yisrael? And he used to say exactly the opposite. The Medina, the halacha, so to speak, cannot do without Medinat Yisrael, because not only because that it's its challenge, but the full splendor and gamut and domain, the strength of halacha, of Dvar Hashem, as looking for Medinat Israel, because that's where it can implement itself in all its glory. The whole point of the halacha and the Torah is not that it is reserved and only for the individual, but it can mamash translate and uplift life. And life is only really like lived when it is on a national scale and not on an individual scale. So he was also a person who founded and who was part of the special Beit Din, the Giyur. He really wanted to make a difference in the tchum of Giyur. He was always very uplifted and inspired by the Gerim that he had met. He made an observation that most of the Gerim were women, and that they came now, even though they didn't have any husbands or anything. That he found that always very very inspiring. So what was he got actually Pras Yerushalayim as a person who contributed so much to Eretz Israel and to the Medina. And what has this got to do so much with the Parsha? It's actually his life and his life's work are echoed in the end of the Parsha, according to a famous comment of Rav Kook. At the end of the Parasha, at the end of the Akedah, we are told that Abraham Avinu went down from Har Moriah, and then what he did was he met with his two attendants. According to the Midrash, it was Yishmael and Eliezer, and then they proceeded to go and to live in Beersheba. What happened to Yitzchak? Well, the Torah doesn't say, but the Midrashim fill in that Yitzchak went to the yeshiva of Shem and Aver. So we have here this contrast in reaction to this awesome event of the Akedah. Yitzchak goes to a yeshiva, and his father goes with his attendants. He goes to Beersheba. Rav Kook says this was the apex of the Akedah, that after having experienced such an episode, such a trial, that Abraham could still see fit to go back into society, to go and to join attendants who were, we wouldn't say that they at the bottom rung of society, but they certainly weren't like the elite of society, and establish over there a place of meeting, some sort of a hotel, where he could be machnis orchim, and to carry on spreading the words of Hashem and to draw people near. We would think that such a person would be aloof, that after experiencing such a thing, how could he communicate with people? But that's not what Abraham did. It's a reminder of what I once read about the first group of three astronauts which landed on the moon. So one of them, at a certain stage of his life, he became very depressed. He said, what have I got any more to contribute in this life? I mean, I reached the climax of everything there is to do. How many people have landed in the moon? So what have I got still? What is there left for me to do? And Abraham didn't have that way. He went through an Akedah, he reached the top, and he continued to spread the name of Hashem. That's also, by the way, one of the ways in which a Kohen, who's a person who on the one hand inspired because he's connected to the Beit HaMikdash, but as Moshe Rabbeinu says in Zot HaBracha and also in the book of Malachi, that he was there also the Kohen to interact with the people and to spread and to teach Torah. So yes, what happened is at the end of the Akedah was actually exactly what the life of Rav Rozen was from an ideological point of view, from a practical point of view. And we say that I just forgot to say that when we say that he spoke about, or he founded the Inyan of the Mossad of Tzomed, what he did was he also founded in the 1980s, he also founded the books called Tchumim. Tchumim, they deal with again, all the Bayot of the Medina. He's written about 30 articles. The articles are not only about technology in the Medina, but it's about society and the Medina. Can a person, for example, go? Is it wise to go and to conduct all sorts of protests against Chilul Shabbat, or does that actually exacerbate the problem? There's all these questions about Israel and society, and that's what he contributed so much to. That was what Abraham was trying to do, to unite these two worlds in the most profound way. Shabbat Shalom L'kulam.